If you're a creator, a teacher, or maybe you run a small business, you know the feeling, right? You pour your heart into creating amazing, helpful content, only to see it get totally buried by some massive company with an endless budget. Well, what if I told you that's all about to change? Today, we're diving into how you can stop just competing and actually start winning.
So, does this look familiar? You hit publish on something you're really proud of and poof, it disappears under this mountain of corporate blogs and these, faceless content farms. It really can feel like you're shouting into the void, completely invisible in the search results. But here's the thing. A huge shift is happening right now, and it plays directly to your strengths.
I mean, look, this is the classic David versus Goliath story. Big brands, they've got the money, they've got the domain authority, sure. But their content, it's often so generic. You, on the other hand, have something they can't just buy or fake. Real, authentic, first-hand advice. And guess what? That is becoming your most powerful advantage.
And here it is, the absolute core of this shift. The rules of the game are changing. Search engines, now powered by some seriously advanced AI, are getting so much smarter. They're not just looking for the right keywords anymore. Now, they are actively hunting for proof that you have actually lived the experience. They want to know that you've climbed the mountain, not that you just read a book about it.
So this brings us to your secret weapon, your slingshot in this fight against the giants. It's an acronym you absolutely need to get familiar with, and it's called EEAT. And trust me, this isn't just another industry buzzword. It's the foundation for how you're going to build trust and finally start climbing those rankings. So what is EEAT? It stands for experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. I want you to think of these as the 4 pillars of your online credibility. Proving you have these 4 things is what's going to separate you from all the other websites that just get lost in the noise. Okay, let's start with the first one, and honestly, it's the most important pillar for creators like us, experience. This is where you have an immediate, powerful edge over those big, faceless brands. This quote right here really nails it. AI-powered search results are looking for genuine signals. They're literally asking, did this person actually do this thing, or are they just rehashing what a bunch of other people have said? Your entire job now is to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that you are the real deal. So how do you actually prove it? Well, it's surprisingly straightforward. You don't just say you're an expert, you show it. Beef up your author bio with specific things you've accomplished. Publish real case studies with actual data and screenshots. Tell your story in the first person, here's what I did. And always include dates to show that your advice isn't stale, it's fresh and current. All right, so once you've laid that foundation of hands-on experience, the next step is to build on it. And that brings us to the other 3 pillars of EEAT: expertise, authority, and trust. It all kind of work together to build up your overall credibility. First step, expertise. Now, what's so interesting here is that this isn't about knowing a little bit about everything. It's about going incredibly deep in your specific niche. Instead of trying to create shallow content on 100 different topics, you need to create the single most comprehensive, insightful guide on the few core things you know inside and out. That's how you signal real expertise. Next up is authoritativeness. For years, this just meant spending a ton of money on backlinks, but not anymore, thankfully. You can build real authority now by just being genuinely helpful where your audience actually hangs out, places like Reddit or other forums. Collaborate with your peers, and don't be shy. Proudly display your wins. How many students have you helped? It's about building a real reputation, not just a link profile. And finally, trustworthiness. This is what protects your reputation, and it's earned through a bunch of small, professional touches. Use real testimonials from your audience. Be super transparent about what worked for you and what didn't. Keep your information up to date, and of course, the basics. Make sure your site is secure and fast. All these little signals tell both users and search engines that you are a safe, credible source of information. Okay, I know that might sound like a lot, but you can break it all down into a super simple, manageable process. So let's look at a concrete plan you can literally start using this week to put all this EEAT theory into practice. Here it is, a simple 5-step weekly plan. Number 1, go back and refresh one old article with some new examples. 2, write one new piece that's based on your own personal experience. 3, just improve the author bios or the testimonials on a few pages. 4, publish one short video, maybe a screen share, showing your process. And 5, keep an eye on what's working. Which pages are getting the most love? See, it's all about simple, consistent action.
And please, remember the most crucial part of this is consistency. This is not about a single, massive, stressful overhaul of your site. It's about making small, steady improvements every single week. I promise you, over a few months, these tiny efforts will compound into massive signals of trust and authority that search engines simply cannot ignore.
So let's bring this all home. What's the main takeaway here? It's time to completely reframe how you think about competing with the big guys. Your size is not your weakness, it is your ultimate strength. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? Big brands, they struggle to be personal and authentic. They can't easily share a real, here's what I did story. But you can. Your audience is desperate for honest guidance from someone who's actually been in their shoes. So be that person for them.
So I'm going to leave you with this one question to think about. What is that unique story, that specific result, that hard-won lesson that only you can share with the world? Find that, wrap it in everything we talked about with EEAT, and you won't just compete, you'll become the trusted go-to source your audience has been searching for.